How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Terminator issue number 6. And this is a story that I felt came out really well. If you guys are keeping up with the trade paperbacks, basically the first trade paperback collected the first 5 issues, and those stories were about Terminators going back to various points in time, and it was a cool idea for an anthology series, and I just kind of thought that's what we were gonna do, and we're gonna stay just going in that path. But it appears that for the next 5 issues, we're actually going to do stories set after Judgment Day, which I think is a really cool idea, and this first one came out really well. This is a story about the T600s, so a couple models before Arnold's T800, and these guys go through a whole lot. They don't have real human skin, they have synthetic human skin, and will that pass? Will that let them be able to infiltrate? Can they travel through time with it? And these T600s are going to go out and going to get destroyed in large numbers, and a lot of this is about Skynet learning. And as they learn, they experiment, they figure things out. A large part of this book is them working on figuring out time travel, which is a super cool idea. And yeah, to get a history from the perspective of Skynet, it is really interesting, and I love seeing what led up to Arnold's Terminator, and I love the idea that they keep failing, they keep trying over and over again. It's just kind of what a robot would do, plod along and going, okay, lost a bunch of T600s there, but gotta keep moving, gotta keep figuring things out. And as a human, you'd expect this story to be about failure and perseverance, but really from that robot perspective, it just kind of has this it is what it is quality, and this is what we have to do. It's a really interesting story. I love to learn about Skynet history, and I love this idea that we're doing that we did pre-Judgment Day stuff, so now we get a post-Judgment Day story, and it sounds like these next 4 issues are probably going to be that way as well, and I am super excited to see what comes out of it. Anyway though, if you guys want to see a little bit more about this book, I'll switch to the close-up camera. I'll show you guys some of the story and some of the art. No major spoilers, so I'll be avoiding the end bits, but if you guys want to see more, let's go ahead and switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle, taking a closer look at the Terminator issue number 6. Right off the bat, I really love this cover. We get this cool melting T600 face. That's really cool. And all this blank space above it, yeah, very striking, and does represent something from the comic. As always, Dynamite gives us a ton of variant covers, some of which are like foil and virgin variants. Love the bloody Terminator face. Also in the back is an ad for the next issue, and it says that issue number 7 will once again be in the future, and it's going to be talking about John Connor's mentor. This sounds super interesting. I love a good John Connor story, and also maybe this is going to tie into one of the last set of issues. You know, maybe this was someone that the Terminators went to in the past. I would bet it's the guy's son from Vietnam, right? And they also gave us a full page ad for issue number 8. That looks cool and comic booky. I'm really wondering what's going to happen there. And there's the credits. Terminator Resilience, written by Declan Shalvey with art by Lorenzo Re. And after that, we get into the story proper. I'm not going to do any major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on a few plot points and make sure you guys have a basic understanding as to what it's about. But yeah, I'll be avoiding the end bits. We open up with the Terminators, actually. This is, I guess, Skynet talking, which is a little weird when you think about it, but what they have to say is pretty interesting. Basically, they start off by saying that man was made in God's image, but Terminators made themselves into man's image, and they said that their form follows a function, and when they have a new function, their form will in turn change. And then we get this milty, ooey gooey skinned T600 there. And yeah, Arnold was a T800, so this is a model or two before that. Always love the glowy eyes though. But after that, we're going to get a series of short stories talking about various T600s and all the struggles and failures they went through. For example, we get a group of survivors who are doing a patrol. They come across this guy and he says, oh, I'm a resistance fighter too, and just from sight alone, they're able to blast this guy. apparently his synthetic skin was not convincing enough. We jump from 2012 to 2017, and there's humans in this stronghold, and the robots are trying to defeat them, but they have good numbers and good weaponry. So what does Skynet do? Well, you gotta leave those poor T-600s behind to hold the humans in the fortress, while you send an airship above them to drop a bomb, which is going to eliminate both the humans and those T-600s, and is also a cool callback to that one scene from T2. And I won't go much further, but there is a little bit later in the story, we get these two people in the 1970s in Austin, Texas. He's trying to convince her into unprotected sex, so I think we know why a Terminator might be coming here, and they see something pop through a portal, and it's a T-600. He's got not human skin, but synthetic human skin, and I'm honestly surprised it was able to get him this far. He came through all ooey gooey and messed up. Yeah, and because his brain is fried, he walks into traffic and gets hit by a car. But from there, we will get a bunch of Skynet experimenting with Terminators and going, okay, we can't send a Terminator back through time, but what if we do this or we do this? And they're going to be experimenting and figuring it out, and I really do love that. I love time going on and them trying to figure it out more and more until we would eventually get to Arnold. I have to say, I really did like this story. It is really interesting and different to see a story from Skynet's perspective, and it's kind of funny because it's not a human story, but it's about failure, and you kind of think there should be empathy there, but no, they're gonna constantly fail and just kind of keep moving on robotically. It is really, really interesting. Overall, I can definitely recommend this one, and I'm betting that the next 5 issues are all going to be future stories, which is a place that the Terminator movies don't go to too often, and I'm always curious to see how this will be fleshed out. Pretty cool idea. Cannot wait for more. Looking forward to the next 4 issues. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Terminator playlist, where you should be able to see my reviews for the past issues of these comics. Anyway, have a good day. See you guys again very, very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.